Well, welcome to today's session. I'm pleased again to be with you and to have you join me. I will be speaking to the topic, a man's path. And over the past 2 or 3 sessions, I have alluded to a number of current topics that affect men. One of such topics has been depression and mental health. What I thought I should do today, rather than focus on things that I respectfully believe to be secondary to your calling as a man, depression, mental health and struggles, they're part of life. And because they are part of life, I view them to be secondary to your primary focus. And that primary focus should be the path you choose and the footsteps you leave behind along that journey as a man. I'm going to talk about a man's path in a way that I hope will be memorable and easy to understand. We've all seen the movie The Pirates of the Caribbean, and we've seen other movies that involve pursuing a dream where perhaps wealth and success and riches will be yours if you are successful. Most men dream of that. Intrinsically, in every single man that I have met, young or old, there is a connection, there is a thread that runs through each of our dreams or experiences. That thread is the fact that we see ourselves as superheroes. There's a calling within each and every one of us that we all hear, sometimes not very clearly, and sometimes not too vividly. That feeling is something that is resurrected when we watch movies. Movies where there is someone who rises above all trials and tribulations, and someone who steps forward to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. A superhero, a special person. We all recognize that. As a matter of fact, some of the best stories about life, and some from the books of antiquities, use the same avatars. The stories are told in different forms and ways, allegories, aphorisms, parables, to convey a central message, a message that calls you to greatness. Men, generally speaking, we do not have a choice in the matter of our calling. Our faith is determined for us in many ways, simply by being men. The path we are called to walk is often a difficult path, but it's a path that we must walk, nonetheless, hard as it may be. That path is made easier if you, the man, have been provided with an understanding of what you need on that journey towards your final treasure. Like a sailor on a boat, there are times when things are beyond your control. The sun, the wind, the tides, the waves, they overwhelm you. Sometimes controlling the boat is even more difficult. In any case, that is your path. that is your calling. You are supposed to be stoic to the best of your ability and at the right time. And keep your eyes on the prize. Now, in order to overcome all of the challenges that you will face as a man, some things are necessary. Some of these things should have been put through early in your life by someone you admired, loved, respected, and most importantly, someone under whose authority you found yourself. A father, a mentor, a coach, a guardian, a brother. Now you will notice I haven't said anything about the female gender. The reason is simple. A man's pathway and his path is not chosen by a woman. It cannot be chosen by a woman, although it can be conveyed through a woman, but the words have to always come from the original source, which has to be a man. You need about 5 things to get through that journey. The challenges of life, the distractions of life, the pain of life, and the pain in life. The emotional roller coaster that you might face. Pain, pressure, all of that. You need about 5 things. The first is a dream. What inspires you as a man? What motivates you? What calls you to greatness? What is your dream? And what is the dream that drives you? If that dream is known, you need something else. Discipline. Discipline is something that is formed and born from your dream, from your vision. Your discipline is a product of the vision you can see. Now, with your eyes, when you look, we call that sight. When you see through your imagination, we call that to envision your dream. You can see in colors your dream. To fulfill that dream, you need discipline. You can only be disciplined consistently if that vision of the dream is very clear. You can have a dream and you can have discipline, but if you do not have direction, which is number 3, you struggle. We travel in the direction we face. Now let me say that one more time. A sailor needs a compass. With the compass, the sailor can determine the direction. The sailor understands his destination or her destination, but direction precedes everything. You need a dream, you need discipline, and you need direction. Now, I have already alluded to number 4, which is the destination. Where are you trying to go? The voice that calls to you in the desert, where is it calling you to go? What is your destination? Generally speaking, if you can conceive a dream, and if you can stay disciplined to that dream, and if you have a sense of direction, and you're not wandering, being blown from side to side by the waves and the tides, but staying focused with a compass, staying true to your true north, then your destination is inevitable. We travel in a direction we face, and if we stay disciplined towards the dream, we arrive at a destination we crave. Now that makes it sound quite easy, but there will be challenges along the way. And you need something of a fuel, something to inspire you, something to keep you going when the times are hard and when the times are unbearable. You need a desire, a magnificent obsession. Some people call it a passion. A simple way to remind yourself of what it means is your desire. What desires do you have? Now, I'm sure you understand as a man what desires refer to. Sometimes you are hungry and you fancy Chinese food, sometimes Italian, and sometimes, perhaps, if you're so inclined, some African cuisine, some Ghanaian jollof rice, or some Nigerian local soup. There's something that you have a desire for. Some of your desires sometimes are not simply about food. In the same way, your dream has to be a desire that drives you. Without your desire, there is no love. Your desire is what reminds you of your ideals. Your ideals are simply those dreams or ideas that you are in love with. Something that tells you the pain is only going to be short-lived, but the blessings, the joy at the end will be enormous. If you have a dream and you've exercised discipline consistently daily towards achieving that dream, and each morning you face the direction that you intend to travel in towards your destination. If you keep your desire, irrespective of the vicissitudes of the journey, you will arrive at your destination, which is where your treasure awaits. Now, number 5 or number 6, finally, number 6, upon arrival, you will do what most men are called and are expected to do, which is dominion, to dominate. We've been all gifted with something important. A unique attribute, skill, talent that we're supposed to dominate. We're supposed to dominate our environment. By dominate, we're supposed to take charge, take possession, manage, maintain, preserve, nurture, and increase anything and everything around us as men. So, a man's pathway and his path finally leads to domination. Desire leads to domination. You master a craft, you master yourself, and you dominate your small circle of influence. That is a man's path. Along the way, no doubt, there will be challenges, there will be obstacles. All of those obstacles are distractions. The obstacle is usually the way. You can go through, above, under, around the obstacle. On the journey, the value of being stoic cannot be overemphasized. And this is where I come to modern men these days. Our emotions need to be mastered. Like a horse can be an unruly animal. If you haven't owned horses or been around horses, horses have to be trained just like human beings have to be trained. Your mind is like a horse, unruly. Your emotions are like horses, unruly. They have to be cultivated and trained. Sometimes you put a harness on your emotions. Not because your emotions are not valid as a man, but because your emotions will do more harm than good. Your emotions are simply messengers. Take the message, put the message to the side, and don't feel always. My beloved has a habit, and I've seen this across most loving women, mothers, sisters, friends, and I've seen this amongst people who have their own kids. The habits, the constant habit of asking, how do you feel? Are you happy? Do you feel happy? And there have been times when I have observed a normal functioning man, young man, who is just doing fine, and then is asked by his mother, how do you feel? Are you happy? And I can see from the glimmer of his eyes that he was just fine before that question was put across. But suddenly he has to respond. You can see him searching his soul to identify whether he was happy. I'm sure he would have been just fine had that question not been asked. And on some occasions I've seen young men respond with no, or they grunt, and the mother asks again, what happened? Can you tell me? Share with me. The questions coming from the mother, these are from a place of comfort and love and caring. It does more harm than good. Young men need to be taught and trained how not to live in their feelings and emotions. If you do so, you will find yourself comparing your journey to another person's journey, your struggles to other people's struggles. Sometimes you would compare your failings to other people's successes, and your successes to other people's failings. It's one of the most tragic things that a man can do. The reason I say so is we are supposed to be the rock upon which the nation is built. If we walk around asking ourselves questions about how we feel, a lot of the accomplishments and success that we have had the opportunity of inheriting from our forefathers would never have become ours. We disregard feelings and emotions at the right time. There are times when we should feel and reflect on our feelings. But for a man, the pathway we choose does not afford us the luxury. See, men do not have the luxury that women have. And our value is not something gifted to us. On the average, at birth, we are gifted with potential, and we are expected to toil the ground. The value we ascribe to ourselves and the value ascribed by our community of men is a product of the service we bring to the community and the marketplace. The marketplace decides our value. Our value is not our potential. Potential is wasted every single day. Our value is not based on our, generally speaking, on our looks, despite looks being something that is, in the modern West, is of great importance. Our value comes down to how we have served our gift back to the community and to the world, and what we have done to create more value and to help other people achieve their dreams and goals. Now, as such, as a man, we have to work every day to bring to the world what the world deserves. We put aside how we feel. Sometimes we don't feel like working, but we have to work. Not because work in itself is the most exciting thing to do, but because that is in many ways our faith. Work. Our identity comes from work, and our identity comes from how masterfully we craft our work. So let me close with the following statements. As a man, your pathway should not be similar to a woman's. Only women have the rare opportunity and privilege of being ascribed the value at birth, beauty and youth. And with those two, if you can combine them with chastity and purity, a woman's value can be as high as society determines that it is. Men and women are not the same. We must go out every day, labor through the pain, the pressure, and perform. And if we do that long enough, society gives us a value. That is our calling. That is our path. That is our faith. Anyone telling you otherwise, and whenever you have the feeling that life is not fair, understand something. It wasn't supposed to be fair, and quite frankly, no one cares. No one cares because no one is going to willingly carry your cross. That is your cross. You carry your cross and you go up the hill as you should. Take some time if you need to rest and recover, but up the hill of life, you must go. I hope that's been of some value.